Tonight there is breaking news as we come on the air. The popular resort going up in flames. The images coming in now. A massive fire at that tourist resort. It has turned deadly tonight. Flames breaking out, quickly spreading from one building to another. Our reporter standing by with the latest. Also breaking, the flash flood emergency in Dallas. More than 1,000 flights canceled and the rescues across the South tonight. Life-threatening floods, nearly 2 feet of rain in 24 hours, flooding homes, washing away roads. And in South Florida tonight, the major brush fire coming dangerously close to the Florida Turnpike, forcing several lanes to shut down. Tonight, amid growing concern about President Trump's deal with Iran, the vice president's trip for this next crucial round of talks now put on hold, with the president tonight unveiling the new Air Force One, the $400 million gift from Qatar. The Pentagon paying hundreds of millions in taxpayer money to retrofit the plane, which will be transferred to the president's library when he leaves office. Tonight, amid heightened alert with the World Cup, the FBI joining the manhunt this evening for a highway shooter. Police say at least one person killed, several wounded, what authorities are now saying. In New York City, the major fire today, the steeple at an historic church collapsing into flames. Tonight, the mother and daughter hospitalized, swept into the ocean by what authorities are calling a sneaker wave. It comes after 2 college students, 2 young women, were swept into the ocean and killed. Tonight, the World Cup showdown, Team USA and the victory over Australia late today. What comes next? Tonight, the hot air balloon and the dangerous landing, multiple people injured. Honoring Juneteenth across America, and tonight what Miss Opal Lee, about to turn 100 years old, is saying on this day, what we can do for each other. And tonight, the tributes for a well-known TV director behind some of the biggest hits of the last 4 decades, from the Mary Tyler Moore Show to Cheers. James Burrows at the famous bar there with Ted Danson and Shelley Long.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. On this Friday night, we begin with several breaking stories, the life-threatening flooding and the rescues in the South, the flash flooding in Dallas. But we are going to begin with the images coming in right now. A massive fire breaking out at a popular tourist resort in the Dominican Republic. The resort popular with Americans, the images coming in late today, flames quickly spreading from one building to another there. Nearly 700 rooms at this large resort operated by Wyndham Resorts. At least one tourist has died. Tourists were raced to what are called safe zones near the resort. ABC's Matt Rivers leading us off with the images so far tonight.
Tonight, a massive fire at a popular resort in the Dominican Republic, leaving at least one tourist dead. Video circulating online shows flames torching the dry, thatched roofs along the beach at the Viva Dominicus Bayaibe Resort. The fire breaking out Friday afternoon, quickly spreading from one building to another. Tourists seen watching the flames erupt, many forced to run for their lives as that fire raced along the property, quickly consuming multiple buildings in its path. Dominican authorities saying an Italian tourist died. First responders unable to save the 46-year-old, police say was first injured in the blaze. The total number of injuries remains unclear tonight. The hotel, situated between Punta Cana and Santo Domingo, has nearly 700 rooms, a large resort that had recently undergone renovations. Firefighters desperately working tonight to prevent the fire from spreading to other resorts and residential buildings nearby. David, tonight authorities say they are still investigating the cause of this fire. David?
Matt Rivers leading us off tonight. Matt, thank you. Here in the U.S., the floods and the fires. First, the life-threatening flooding from Texas to Florida tonight. The flash flooding in the Dallas area. More than 1,000 flights canceled tonight. Dallas hit particularly hard. Tonight, flood watches posted all along the Gulf Coast right there. The remnants of Tropical Storm Arthur unleashing nearly 2 feet of rain in 24 hours. Fierce lightning in the Dallas area and water rescues across the South tonight, with more rain now coming. Lee Goldberg has the forecast for us in Morgan Norwood tonight from the storm zone.
Tonight, catastrophic flooding across the South.
Oh my God.
Cars and homes underwater. First responders racing to rescue people from rapidly rising water. Torrential downpours in Dallas sparking a flash flood emergency. Nearly 3 inches of rain, half a month's worth falling in less than 24 hours. More than 1,000 flights canceled tonight, with the biggest impacts in Dallas due to the storms. The heat-fueled remnants of Tropical Storm Arthur flooding communities in Stone County, Mississippi. Families escaping this RV park by boat.
I just don't know what I'm going to do next.
And here in Baldwin County, Alabama, east of Mobile, roads inundated.
For the people who live here, this is not a creek or a canal, though it's been functioning like one. This is their main road in and out of their community.
And every time it rains pretty heavy, it floods pretty easily.
How frustrating is that, if at all?
Oh, very frustrating. It makes it difficult to make it to work and get home.
Look at that! And tonight, millions in the Midwest cleaning up from devastating tornadoes. Trevor Craig capturing the moment a twister slammed into his home in Effingham, Illinois.
Oh my gosh, what in the world just happened? The whole house that I'm living in just got torn to pieces.
And David, another round of storms expected Saturday, potentially causing new flooding problems and worsening situations like the one that you see here. Residents stranded, now being pulled to safety by boat. David?
We're thinking about millions of families across the South dealing with this for days now. Morgan, thank you. We're also tracking the dangerous situation in South Florida tonight. Extreme heat and dry conditions fueling a massive brush fire in western Miami-Dade County. You can see the thick smoke there causing air quality concerns tonight. Flames getting dangerously close to the busy Florida turnpike, forcing several lanes to be shut down. Reports tonight more than 20,000 acres have burned in these brush fires there. Let's get right to ABC senior meteorologist Lee Goldberg. He's tracking all of this tonight, the floods and the fires. Lee?
David, what a contrast over South Florida, the fires, and then over the panhandle, the flash flooding. It's been a triple threat. The flash flooding, the tornadoes, it's all happening during extreme heat. The flood watches go from Texas to central Georgia. It includes the panhandle of Florida. The storms are more scattered tonight, but it doesn't take much to spark the flash flooding given the saturated soils. Tomorrow, the storms shift back to the central plains. Rounds of heavy rain, a general 1 to 3 inches of rain. The timing, storms begin to fire tomorrow afternoon. They last into the night. A level 3 out of 5 from parts of Colorado, Kansas, and Nebraska. You know what? This system moves eastward. It's going to bring heavy rain to the northeast on Monday. David?
We'll track it right here with you. Lee, thank you. Now to President Trump and his deal with Iran tonight. The vice president's trip for this next crucial round of talks with Iran on their enriched uranium has now been put on hold. And tonight, the president, meanwhile, unveiling the new Air Force One, the $400 million gift from Qatar. And the Pentagon paying hundreds of millions in taxpayer dollars to retrofit the plane, which will then be transferred to the president's library when he leaves office. Here's Mary Bruce tonight.
President Trump tonight unveiling his brand new Air Force One, a $400 million gift from Qatar, likely the largest gift ever from a foreign government.
We had it all painted up, and these are the new colors, red, white, and blue. And we like the baby blue, but it was time for a change.
The Pentagon spent 1 year and hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars to retrofit the plane and make security upgrades. And when Trump leaves office, the plane will leave with him, ownership to be transferred to his presidential library.
This plane was transformed into a flying White House at a level of luxury that nobody's ever seen before.
The president then signing a panel of the plane. In high spirits, even as top Republicans in Congress heap criticism on his new peace deal with Iran. Vice President J.D. Vance was expected to be in Switzerland today to kick off the next phase of talks to determine the future of Iran's nuclear program. But before he could leave, Iran pressing pause, postponing talks because Israel was still trading attacks with Hezbollah in Lebanon. A ceasefire in Lebanon is a key part of Iran's agreement with the U.S. But Israel wasn't included in that deal. The president telling Axios Israel will listen to him.
They have a lot of respect for me, and they do as I say.
While Vance has taken a strikingly harsh tone towards Israel.
You're a country of 9 million people. You can't just kill your way out of solving every single national security problem that you have.
And David, tonight there is a fragile ceasefire in Lebanon, but still no word on when J.D. Vance may be traveling for these nuclear talks. And top Republicans like Senator Ted Cruz are still bashing the plan for a $300 billion reconstruction fund for Iran as, quote, an exceptionally bad idea. David.
Mary Bruce, who's reporting from New York tonight. Good to have you, Mary. Tonight, at a time of heightened alert because of the World Cup, the FBI now joining the manhunt this evening for a highway shooter in Kansas City. A series of shootings reported on I-70 and I-670, with people on the way to a match being played there. Police say at least one person killed, several wounded. And here's our chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Katersky, tonight.
Tonight, in the shadow of the World Cup, an urgent manhunt for the suspect in a string of highway shootings.
One shooter last seen in the area of I-70.
Kansas City police say this man, Oscar Sanchez Munoz, shot 5 people, killing 1 and injuring 4 others.
They were driving down the highway or roadway when 1 or more shots were fired into their vehicles.
Tonight, the FBI is offering a $25,000 reward for information leading to his arrest. Police say after Sanchez Munoz shot into one of the cars, the driver died when the vehicle crashed. The shootings also injured a teen and 3 adults, among them an Uber driver taking fans to a World Cup match at Kansas City Stadium. All of the gunfire happened within a few miles of the soccer pitch.
This is one person that's responsible for a series of shootings. We have law enforcement agencies, federal, state, and local, all looking for him right now as we speak.
Police descended on 2 homes where they thought Sanchez Munoz could be. One caught fire. At the other, spent shells from the ammunition police used to get inside, littering the ground. Several windows shattered. A search of the place ended, though, with no sign of the suspect. Police said there's no known connection between these shootings and the World Cup and no apparent motive, David. And tonight the FBI says the suspect should be considered armed and dangerous. David?
Aaron Katersky with us tonight. Aaron, thank you. Now to the dangerous waves slamming the California coast. A mother and daughter hospitalized after being swept into the ocean by what authorities are calling a sneaker wave. It comes after 2 college students, 2 young women, were swept into the ocean. They did not survive it. Here's ABC's Alex Stone.
Tonight, officials along the California coast warning about dangerous so-called sneaker waves, like this one that can surge up without warning after a mother and her young daughter were knocked into the ocean while walking along a San Francisco beach. Tonight, they're in serious condition.
Be very careful and never turn your back to the ocean, as these waves can sneak up on you, literally, and sweep you out into the water.
Bay Cadet says she's lucky to be alive. She says she was fishing off another beach when a sneaker wave swept her away.
I knew at that moment that it was going to take me. It swallowed me up very easily. The ocean is not our friend.
It comes after a deadly week on California beaches with the threat of sneaker waves, rip currents, and high tides. 2 college students died after being swept off a beach near Santa Cruz. And in Laguna Beach, a 5-year-old girl was killed after waves pulled her into the sea. Tonight, David, sneaker wave warnings are up around California through Sunday. And again, lifeguards say do not turn your back toward the waves and keep children at an arm's distance if around the water. David?
Alex Stone with us tonight. Thank you, Alex. We're going to move on now to the tributes tonight for a legendary TV director behind some of the biggest hits of the last 4 decades. James Burrows helped define the American sitcom, from the Mary Tyler Moore Show to Taxi to Cheers. Here's Whit Johnson tonight.
I just bought the bar back. Sammy's got the bar.
He was the creative force behind some of the most iconic comedies on television. James Burrows directing more than 1,000 TV episodes.
You're gonna make it after all.
Getting his start on the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Give us any chance, we'll take it.
From Laverne and Shirley to Taxi.
I'll give you the same advice I give my mom when she cries. I say, Mom, shut up.
Burrows quickly rising to one of the most in-demand directors in Hollywood.
Name any piece of art you saw today.
Well, gee, there are so many.
The co-creator of pop culture classics like Cheers, seen here on the set with Ted Danson and Shelley Long, Frasier and Friends.
Oh, wait, I have the 10 of spades. Here, you want it?
The 11-time Emmy winner directing The Big Bang Theory and every episode of Will and Grace during its original run.
Take it easy. We are not doing an episode of Law & Order LGBTQ.
Burrows once asked how he'd like to be remembered.
That every night, forever, you can tune in somewhere and there'll be a show I did.
James Burrows was 85.
Whit Johnson tonight on a legendary director, James Burrows, remembered. Thank you, Whit. We move on here to the World Cup showdown. Team USA with that big victory over Australia late today, winning 2-0, watching in my office. So what's next tonight for Team USA, and what about our star player and his injury? Trevor Ault, Lucky Trevor at the World Cup in Seattle. Trevor?
Well, David, it was another decisive win for Team USA, downing Australia 2-0 in front of a home crowd here in Seattle. And they did it without star player Christian Pulisic, who was battling a calf injury. Still, the Americans got out front early because of an own goal from Australia. The defender knocking in a low cross from Folarin Balogun. And then Alex Freeman with a header for a goal of his own just before the half. From there, Team USA held off an aggressive Australian attack to cruise to that victory. And now these 2 wins are the first time that the Team USA men's team has won consecutive World Cup matches since 1930. That's good enough already to clinch their spot in the knockout round, the next stage. They still have one group match left to play. That's in Los Angeles next Thursday against Turkey. David.
It was fun. We'll take it. Trevor Ault tonight in Seattle. Thanks, Trevor. When we come back on the broadcast this evening, more news ahead. A deadly train collision, 2 passenger trains colliding. This has been deadly. 89 passengers injured in this. In New York City tonight, a church engulfed in flames. This bystander video shared on the Citizen app. That fire tearing through the church, a steeple collapsing. Then the hot air balloon making a dangerous landing. Multiple people injured tonight, and what we've learned in just a moment here. Tonight, a deadly train collision outside London. 1 person killed and dozens more injured. Video showing the 2 passenger trains on a single track. A derailed carriage and crumpled metal at the scene near Bedford. Officials say 89 people were injured, 33 with serious injuries. No word on the cause tonight. Back here at home in New York City, a fire at a landmark church in Brooklyn. A bystander shared video of the spire engulfed in flames shortly before it collapsed. That fire erupting at the 174-year-old South Bushwick Reformed Church this afternoon. That fire under control tonight. There's no word on a cause. When we come back here, the hot air balloon accident, the dangerous landing, there have been multiple injuries. And honoring Juneteenth across America. And tonight, what Miss Opal Lee, about to turn 100, is saying tonight. To the index of other news, 9 people were injured when a hot air balloon made a hard landing in southern Nevada. Officials in Nye County say the balloon crashed in a dry lake bed. Firefighters say 1 person suffered a severe head injury. Other passengers and the pilot were treated for burns, cuts, and smoke inhalation. The FAA looking into the cause tonight. Celebrations of Juneteenth, recognizing the day the last enslaved people in the U.S. learned they were free. Walks, parades, festivals across the country today marking the day. News of the Emancipation Proclamation reached Galveston, Texas in 1865. Events also celebrating Opal Lee, who led the charge to make Juneteenth a national observance. Lee telling USA Today, there are those who've gone before us, those who have taken time to pass things on to us in a manner that we learn. And so it's our responsibility to see that others learn from us. Lee writing, sharing stories of freedom helps others, quote, learn that there's more to life than just their little pond that they're swimming in. When we come back on this Friday evening, a father and son you won't soon forget. What a gift for his dad. Finally tonight on this Father's Day weekend, like father, like son, the two taking flight, our persons of the week. Tonight, with Father's Day weekend here, the remarkable story of one father and son. Captain Rob Lussman has been in the airline industry for more than 40 years, nearly half of that time a pilot for United Airlines. Growing up, his son Dan always wanted to be just like Dad and would go on to become a pilot for United too. It was 2.5 years ago the family received devastating news. Dad, Rob, was diagnosed with ALS, cutting his career flying short. He had always hoped his final flight as captain would be with his son. And so just before Father's Day, the gift tonight.
This is actually my father's retirement flight today. 2.5 years ago, my dad, who was a United Airlines captain, was diagnosed with ALS. Unfortunately, cut his career short that he loved so much. My dad's actually the reason I got into aviation. I'm so proud to be able to do this for you. It's a great honor for me. Just want to say thanks again and welcome aboard.
To have my son fly my retirement flight, just it's another proud moment in my life, and sometimes there's just not words to describe how cool it is that he followed in my footsteps and worked hard to be here.
Flying from Portland, Maine to their hometown of Chicago, and when they landed, their family and fellow pilots were waiting.
This has just been a great career. It's from day one. This is what I wanted to do, and of course I wanted to end it a little bit differently, but this is amazing. Daniel did a great job flying this year.
And right here tonight,
hi David,
that proud son and pilot, Dan.
This experience was truly meant the world to us and such an honor. I just want to say Happy Father's Day to all fathers out there.
And tonight, joining us too,
good evening, David,
the proud father and retired captain, and his message on this Father's Day.
It just shows that over the years of being a dad, that love and hard work and advice really pay off, and you just raise great children. And just wanted to say Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there.
Thank you. And so we choose Rob and Dan. What a story. We celebrate all of our dads and stepdads. Happy Father's Day. I'm David Muir. Good night.